You know me, SDMT. Big story right here, man. The Pittsburgh Steelers are in trouble, man. The Steelers are not a playoff team without Le'Veon Bell, man. I don't want to hear it. It's a fact at this point. The Steelers are struggling, man. Big Ben has thrown 5 interceptions in 4 games. He's had to carry that offense as the main source, as the main man, and that's not what he's great at. The Steelers are at their best when they have balance, when they have a running game, when they can control that clock, and that's what Le'Veon does, as well as be one of the best pass-catching running backs in the league, having 85 catches last season. Okay, so we know Le'Veon Bell is a major factor to that offense, going over 1,900 total yards last season. So losing that main player definitely is going to hurt your offense. Now, Le'Veon Bell, the Steelers should have paid him, man. This shows how valuable the running back position is. People think it's all about quarterbacks and receivers and this pass-happy NFL, but this shows you running backs are still a major factor in great teams making the playoffs and being great. You take Le'Veon away from the Steelers, you put it all on Big Ben and those receivers, and it's not enough to get wins, even over teams like the Browns, man. The Steelers are struggling. James Conner, I like him. He had a 100-yard game the first game of the year, but he hasn't been able to be as productive the last few games, okay? So the Steelers' rushing game is non-existent at this moment, so they can't run the ball. So without running the ball, you have to pass the ball a lot. And Big Ben, he's not that Tom Brady kind of quarterback that can do that high-volume passing and not make mistakes. So that just lets you know the Steelers need Le'Veon Bell if they're going to make the playoffs and maybe a Super Bowl run. This shows that the organization and the GM and the owner should have paid Le'Veon. This shows that the NFL really devalues the running back position. Not every team. The Rams paid Todd Gurley. The Cardinals paid David Johnson. So some teams do understand the importance of having that great all-around running back, and the Steelers really messed up right here by not paying the best running back in the league, Le'Veon Bell, what he deserves. Giving him a cap and saying, we're not going to pay this much for a running back. Well, this player is more than just a running back, okay? He can go over 1,200 rushing yards, over 10 TDs, and also help your offense with over 85 catches. So that is a major part of your offense. Without that, we see the Steelers struggling. We see the Steelers putting so much pressure on Ben Roethlisberger, and he's struggling. We see the defense struggling because they're on the field so much because the offense can't run the ball and control the clock, okay? So we see what the difference of the Steelers without balance. You know, they play their best when they have balance. You got to have that running game, and that's what the Steelers are known for, having that running game and that defense. If you're a Steelers fan, you already know. You can go back to Barry Foster. You know, you can go back to Jerome Bettis. You can go back to Willie Parker. When you had that running game, that's when that team was at its best. So them not paying Le'Veon is huge right here. The Steelers are struggling. There are reports that Le'Veon is going to come back for Week 7 or sometime this month, which would be huge. You should see the Steelers be better, but that locker room is going to have a little bit of problems because those linemen spoke out against Le'Veon and talked about his business, and that does leave a bad taste in everybody's mouth. So we'll see how the team, gels with that little bit of friction right there. But this proves, man, the running back position is very valuable. Don't get caught up in the NFL promoting, oh, it's all about passing and receivers. No, you got to run the ball. So the NFL, what they want to do, which I'm going to let you know right now, what they're making it all about passing, the NFL is going to be 7-on-7 soon. You know what I mean? Because the running back position is kind of like kickoffs and punt returns, just the most violent positions on the field. There's a lot of collisions in running the ball and the running game. So in the future, all this pass-happy football, you can't fall on quarterbacks, you can't touch receivers. It's leading to 7-on-7, okay? So they're going to phase out the running back position sooner or later. It's sad. I love RBs, you know what I mean? You already know I'm rocking, but I can see it already happening. But this is pretty awesome. This story, and what Le'Veon did is he really proved his worth and his value. There's guys like Sammy Watkins and Brandon Cooks that are solid players. They're getting paid more than Le'Veon Bell, who actually does more, who's more of a factor. Running backs don't only run the ball. He's also great at receiving the ball. And also, guess what? They do one of the most important things, is that's protect your quarterback. They help block those linebackers and pick up those blitzers. So that lets you know how much valuable they are. Receivers can run around, so they catch balls, but a lot of times, they're not as valuable as a star running back like Le'Veon Bell, and that's just the truth. You guys drop your thoughts below. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and follow me on Instagram at SDMT619. SDMT!